Ladies, gentlemen, and others in chat, welcome to this year's final drawing stream. I'll be going on a bit of a vacation from here on out, believe it or not. So, also, as I mentioned last time, I have a... Oh, that's super thin. Nice. I have a dinner date with my parents that I really don't want to miss out on. So, here we are. This is gonna be a very, very short stream. I'm just gonna have to figure out how this works, basically. See if we can get some get something done. We're not necessarily going to complete. We'd really sweet if we could complete panel 1, but our establishing shot, but there's also a real possibility that we won't. So temper your expectations, chat. Temper them. And I wonder if I can be an absolute mad lad and just do like that. And then just... Does that work? That might actually work, chat. Holy smokesy pants. I will probably squish you a little bit. But you know what? I'm gonna take that. That is good enough for me. Oh. I hope you guys are doing well. Even though we are just lurking, but that's fine. It's okay to lurk. Okay, so what else do we need? We need just finishing essentially the line detailing line art on this building here, and then if we have any time left, we will just... I figured we would just experiment a little bit with the halftones or what have you. We'll just have to wait and see where we end up, right? So what I've been doing today, a little bit housewife, just doing some laundry and some basic stuff like that. Feels like being an idiot, and I fell down the rabbit hole commonly known as Black Desert Online because they released a new class, which of course looked gorgeous and also looked very fun to play. So fiddling around with that. I'm just reusing assets here. Because why the heck not? Yeah. Copy pasting. I also stumbled over this. I've been like playing in my head. Like I've learned teaching myself HTML5 and CSS, cascading style sheet, and also now dipping myself into Java in an effort to like, wouldn't it be cool if I knew how to make my own web page so I could host my comics on? And sure, like you can always like figure out something, but it's a neat little thing to have. And in the process of looking for jobs and whatnot, I was like, yeah, maybe I should just try to acquire some other skills. And but then I stumbled over a Kickstarter project. It's like, yeah, we're trying to make the same thing, but it will be free and open source and all of that jazz. I'm like, that sounds kind of interesting, not gonna lie. Yeah, so keep it simple. With the inks. Yeah. Okay. So now I think we need to figure out the halftones. It's not going to be a very long stream, about an hour long or something like that. I'll tap out. And yeah, so, but anyway, this comic template thing was like, yeah, that looks kind of cool. So I'm kind of on the fence of maybe I should support their Kickstarter, maybe. Okay. So obviously the windows are going to be white, or at the very least they're going to be very bright gray, I figure. Right. I guess it could be. Something like that, yeah. The question is how. Like, yeah, it starts very bright and then it gets dark obviously dark at the top. We could also just do flat, solid. Maybe that's easier. Keep it simple. Trying to keep it simple and just like with a handful of values, because we already have two values, right? From the black ink and the white page. see. How does that look? Yeah, okay, that can work. What if we use the same color on the... Maybe that should be a little bit darker. Okay. Dark. Yeah. And they were alternating, so... Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that comic book page is gonna like... It was essentially like Neo Cities, which is like this old school, go back to reject modernity and return to monkey kind of thing. When it comes to web design, because back in my day, before the empires of Facebook and whatnot, people used to make their own little websites with blogs, and kind of like Tumblr, but except like it was a uniform standard or anything. It was really Wild West, unhinged creativity and whatnot. And there are people who are kind of like, we should go back to that. And I want to do that, but with a little bit more specific for comics. And I'm like, that's cool. And once the project is done, it will be free open source, so everybody can sort of, and then you can tinker with it if you want to, if you know how, and hopefully by then I might know how. But it could also be fun to just make my own website. Not that I will make it better, but it's just for practice, you know? Applying the skills, not just learning skills just for the sake of learning them, but actually, oh, I would also like to apply them to something. Now that looks like that. Might not necessarily be nearly as elegant or dynamic as it is in my reference, but like this is really elaborate. So but I was kind of curious, like if I make a really dark here. Okay. I'm kind of curious. I'm just gonna experiment. I'm hungry too. But thankfully I'm gonna get to come home and talk to my parents and have some of that homemade cooking. Yeah, baby. So, and that's... Yeah. Okay, so what if we... I think that's everything. Okay, at least it's good enough for this experiment. So... Does that work? I mean... You see what I'm going for here, chat. Like, I'm going for like a gradient of halftone, but it's kind of like washes out a little bit. Maybe I need to make it a bit even. Darker at the top and a bit brighter at the bottom. That kind of works. Yeah, let's do that. Let's settle with that, and let's just. I think we're just gonna continue with that value basically. Let's go like capture white, and we might have to do something fancy at the bottom here, but and also pure white underneath. But yeah. And also we need the sky, but that's fine. I need to figure out how to subtract those. Windows from it all. Oh yeah, I can also mention that. Like, I've continued to write on the script. So that's coming along rather nicely, if I may say so myself. It's always good. It's not completely done yet, but you know, like, yeah, we're getting there, chat. We're getting there. Okay, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you need a separation from there to there. My goodness. We got people in the chat. Oh my god. Oh, no. That's right. This is... I think now we are subtracting... I think we are. Yeah. Because now... Yeah. Good. That was what I wanted. Let's see. close it off. There we go. Okay. So now, yeah, yeah. And oh, that's the sketch. I'm an idiot. Let's turn off the sketch because I don't think we will need it anymore. So, yeah. Something like that. I mean, That's good enough for me, chat. It's not going to be perfect, but that ain't the kind of kit that I am playing. There we go. Right. I think we'll just leave that one. Yeah, like that. Something like that. Okay. And we are gonna need, obviously, the streets aren't perfectly evenly flooded in streetlights, but you know how it is, chat. We need to sprinkle in some values here and there. Okay. Probably a bit darker there, bright here, bright spot there. There's a heck of a lot more detailing into this one than mine, but screw it. Lastly, we also have the sky. I am being rather efficient today, chat. I don't know why. Is it because I'm hungry, or is it because something else? I don't know. It's just like, I just want this over and done with. Get me out of here, chat. Get me out of here. Maybe we can make that even darker. Darker still. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it works. A little bit of variation. There we go. I wonder if, like, what if we That low-key works. If I turn off halftones, and that's tedious detailing, but maybe. And then, now we're talking, chat. Now we're cooking with gas. That was a cute little trick. I have no idea why I even bother to fix these little super tiny little mistakes. Because I don't think that they yeah, they barely show up. Okay. So now I'm kind of curious. I would like to try some of these simple windows. Why are you so jagged, good sir? Obviously that is way too big, but kind of just yeah, because you kind of like see it, but like it's basically just blobs of shape, really. And of course, you can then go even thinner and do like that. Right, or rather, I suppose you will put it down there. And boom! Instant window. Of course, you don't know. You don't have to do like a whole row of the same thing, but oh. And who knows, maybe this one is instead, I don't know. Yeah, let's just keep these pure white, basically. Yeah, why not? Just do some detailing in here. Some variety and visual interest. That's what's right. Like, I know that they kind of go like, we add little figures and silhouettes and so on to just break up the monotony, but save our work. Yeah. And I suppose we could just continue our mad adventures here. Okay, low key 1, 2. Z. Not the Z. Build it up a little bit. You know? So it's not so bright. You got a little bit like the street light or something like shining up on it. And then maybe we have a big window. In here. Oh, excuse me. What we need now is obviously we need to get back here and we need to fix our horrible mistake. There we go. If we turn off the halftone, screw it. I thought it was like 29 that I had. Yeah. Right. And obviously this one is a 0. Like that. And let's do this 5. Since it's closer to the viewer, it should probably be a 5. also, obviously, it needs to be jet black. It's probably because it's on the... Yeah. It's nowhere, like, it's a pale imitation of this, but it gets the job done. That's the important thing. So, where does that leave us, chat? I have a feeling... Oh, okay. Obviously, we need to... Yeah. We need to do something about this blasted ceiling here. Home and home. Like, all of his ceilings are like black, but they have like white detailing lines on them, so let's see if we can emulate that on this here rooftop. That could be interesting. Boom. But now we sort of need to lower the opacity of the halftone. So that we can see the line work. So I can see what the heck I'm supposed to do here. Let's do this and go back. And crank up the opacity. How does that work? That could work. Yeah. And kind of just experimenting here, chat, not gonna lie. What if we just find something that sort of kind of points in the same direction, but doesn't? At the same time, doesn't? That was not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted either. This is what I want. There we go. Get some weird ideas sometimes. That's okay. Why? So. Okay, I'm just... Yeah. still, they might still be a little bit too thick for my blood, but the contrast is so high because we're going from pure black to pure white, so the contrast is pretty intense. Not gonna lie, but that just, we're gonna tuck you in under there, and then we're going to, yeah, we can do, oh, we can do that, chat. Look at that. That is a happy little accident if I ever saw one. Like, yeah, look at that. Yeah, yep. That works, chat. I'll take it. Sometimes I wonder, like, is this like what the big grandmasters are doing? To go like, kind of just happily stumble up, like, that looks kind of cool. I'm gonna keep it. Is that what they're doing? Sometimes let's look like, is that what the grandmasters are doing? I'll call them grandmasters as if they were freaking Da Vinci or something. But from my perspective, every once in a while, I go like, well, you know what? They're not that far off. So here we go. Yeah. Feeling it. The tricky part is, of course, I can't be lost in, I shouldn't get lost in the groove, because then I'm gonna forget to catch the bus, and then I will be late. You don't want that, chat. So, which is really the tricky part. At this stage, I think like the tricky part is just gotta like get started. And I heard a lot of people saying the same thing when it comes to drawing, or a lot of things in general, really. They're like, yeah, gotta get started is a pain, but once you kind of get into the group, like, oh yeah, no, it's not that bad. Yeah, I have some detailing on that building there. That works. So. Do a little hydration check. And yeah, I'm happy how that turned out, to be honest. So for 2026, I would like to finish this comic. Said it before, but it goes repeating both to myself and whoever might be interested in listening in chat. But process is slow because I don't have a process really. I haven't ironed out a lot of the kinks basically in the system. And yeah, hopefully that will get better as I go along and things will sort of improve and speed up and whatnot. Things will get faster and faster. But I still acknowledge that I'm probably going to need to draw more than just 3 days a week. So I'll try to get back to the 5 days a week schedule, but I would also like to keep it flexible, so not necessarily fixed days, which is going to be interesting. Just sporadically hopping in, but I would like to, because of my work, it will probably not always start at 6 p.m. and end 10:30 ish, I would assume, because I need my beauty sleep so that I can be a functional human being at the end of the day, the following day, which will give me 4 hours, 5 days a week, assuming that I do go the whole distance. Am I fluctuating on, which is 20 hours a day? No, 20 hours a day. Blah. 20 hours a week. Math. Is that enough for 22 pages when you've never done a comic before? I don't know. Let's find out. Can we get it done by the end of the year? Stick around. We'll find out together, I guess. Going to be a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles. Like the next page alone, we're going to go like, oh yeah, I need to draw a horse. I need to draw an old man wielding a pitchfork while riding a horse. Never done that before. No, certainly not that combination. I have dipped my toes a little bit into drawing horses, but I do know my figure drawing a little bit. Pitchfork shouldn't be that challenging. I just need to find some references, but yeah, it's going to be a royal pain in the butt, but hey, here we are. So pushing ourselves to the fringes of the comfort zone, chat. That's where the growth lies. But I would also like to incorporate like a bunch of warm-up practice exercises. As part of my drawing routine for 26. Because word on the almighty YouTube is that you'll see a lot of improvement and growth doing so. And then it takes about an hour, so that's going to be interesting to wrestle with. But yeah. Gonna be having a lot of obstacles ahead of us, a lot of challenges. It's gonna be interesting to see what creative solutions I can have to sort of dance around my weaknesses, confronting my weaknesses and pushing myself so that they actually improve, but at the same time not to the point of where I'm redoing the same panel over and over and over and over and over again. At some point, I'm just gonna have to go like, nope, this is good enough. We're moving on. And solving technical challenges as well while we're at it. It's gonna be fun. Famous last words, though. Famous last words. It's probably gonna. Yeah. But it is what it is. So, yeah. Is this page perfect? Far from it, but it's more about learning than perfecting, basically. So, yeah. But I think we'll call it there, chat. I think we will call it there. Right? So, thanks a lot for stopping by. Happy holidays, happy new year. And I guess I'll be back in business, back in streaming. When is it? January? Probably Monday 4th? Yeah. Or maybe Friday. Should I be an absolute mad lad and go Friday, Saturday? No, let's start on Monday 4th. Let's start on Monday 4th, chat. Monday 4th. 6 p.m. That sounds like a plan. Alright. Until then, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I'll see you soon, okay? Bye-bye.